Hey there, top drivers. Welcome, or welcome back, to the UniSimRacing channel. Today we're picking up where we left off with Le Mans Ultimate and diving into a track guide focused on Japan's legendary Fuji Speedway. It's a truly fascinating circuit, first introduced to the World Endurance Championship back in 2012, and ever since, it's been home to some unforgettable races. Fuji's layout is a real gift for racing. Those long straights combined with a final sector that really lends itself to switching lines and tactical overtakes make for dynamic and exciting battles. Add in the notoriously unpredictable weather, and you've got all the ingredients for high-stakes action. Today we're jumping behind the wheel of a BMW M4 GT3 and taking you on a deep dive into this iconic Japanese circuit. We'll be hunting for braking markers, studying the corners, and getting a feel for how to extract the most from a layout that's evolved quite a bit over the years. But here's the key. Don't just focus on where to brake or what gear to be in. Fuji is all about nuance. There's a ton to pay attention to, and understanding those subtleties can really transform your driving. All right, let's hit turn one. Your braking point just before the 100-meter board. Don't lock onto it as your absolute reference. And definitely don't rely solely on the start of the curb either. Instead, treat the board as a secondary visual cue. From the cockpit, it's not always easy to spot clearly, so base your braking on how close you are to the curb. As soon as it starts to come into view, that's your cue to begin braking. Now you want to trail brake gently, especially towards the end of the braking zone. If you look at the inputs, you'll see how smooth that trail is right when you start dialing in the steering angle. In this corner, you're aiming for a bit more than 90 degrees of wheel input. I recommend running a slightly rearward brake bias here. It helps rotate the car using the rear axle, giving you a subtle yaw, or if you prefer, a controlled little slide. Another key element, use all the track. You want those inside wheels riding the curb, even if just for a moment. That gives you a slight rail effect, stabilizing the car's direction and finishing off the rotation you started with the trail braking and initial steering. And don't be afraid to use a bit more road on the exit, even beyond the curb. Just don't go overboard. You don't need to leave the tarmac entirely. From there, shift over immediately to the right-hand side. That'll be the outside line for the next corner, and keeping tight will minimize the distance through the upcoming section. No need to slam the brakes here. The speed differential between your braking point and the apex isn't massive. All right, drivers, let's clean up our entry a bit. Smooth things out to encourage rotation and keep the car's nose planted. That little detail helps you delay opening up the steering wheel just enough. You'll want to brake just before the 50-meter board, but honestly, one of the best cues here is the tire marks on the tarmac. As soon as they start angling off, follow that line. It's a great visual marker. Now use every last inch of the track. This curb? You want to really commit to it. Get the car up on it firmly so you're giving yourself maximum lateral room for the exit. Don't shy away from a quick lift of the front end. Just keep the steering input minimal, especially if you're still on the brakes. Overdoing it here can easily send the rear stepping out, especially in cars like the Porsche, where that's a common trap. You've got to own the inside of this corner, even if it means dancing on the edge. The ideal cut is toward the end of that first section of curb. If your league or server rules allow it, use the whole thing. Though honestly, in this specific section, there's not a massive gain from overdoing it. For turn 4, timing is everything. Hold off on lifting off the throttle for as long as you can. That subtle lift is your way of telling the car, okay, time to load up the front axle a bit, but skip the brakes. Too much decel here, and the car gets light in all the wrong places. You can stay flat out through the early part of the corner, up until you spot that little service road on the right. That's your signal to begin a smooth lift. No on-off switches here. Ease off the gas, dip into the lower throttle range, and then gently start feeding it back in. If needed, tap the brake lightly, just enough to settle the car without creating a massive weight shift. Once it's composed, start feeding the throttle back in. I'd suggest dialing in a bit of traction control here in overdrive mode. It helps hold the line and keeps you from running wide as you aim for that second apex. This buys you precious time to drift back to the outside and set up turn 5. again using all the width the track gives you. Coming into the next turn, you'll want to brake just past the 50-meter board. You can carry a lot of speed here, so there's no need for heavy braking, early braking, or long braking. The trick, once again, is to really get on the inside curb, just like you did in turns 1 and 2, to take advantage of that rail effect. Watch out for the outer curb, though. If you ride it, the car will drift wide and you'll bleed lap time. Worst case scenario, you get pinged for track limits. The goal here is minimal distance, minimal deviation. Keep it tight. Next braking point, the 100-meter board on the right. It's a tricky one to spot, so use the runoff area as your guide. Brake right around the end of that paved escape road. Take advantage of the entire width of the track, including that very flat outer curb. Trail braking should carry you all the way into the apex. A bit of rear locking here and there? Don't stress. As long as it's happening at the back, you're golden. This curb, you can go right over it, especially on a quali lap. Let the car skip a little and steer with intent. In race trim, though, play it safe. Minimize the penalty risk. Use all the visibility you've got. Your limit here is the end of the curb. Push the edge but stay legal. Gear change moment is coming up. You can finish the corner in first gear or do a soft short shift. But don't underestimate how much load you're asking from the engine. Now we're entering the final sector. The first turn here needs just a feather-light brake, kind of like turn 2. There's barely any speed drop from entry to apex, so if you brake too hard, you'll bog down and throw away tenths. You can run the full curb, but if your league enforces strict limits, tread carefully. Even brushing past the white line could cost you. Again, braking here should be soft, just enough to keep the car stable. Start braking as soon as the outer curb becomes clearly visible, and don't hesitate to run a low brake bias. You'll need the car to rotate. If you manage the rotation right, the car will dive into the corner with minimal steering input and come out ready to hook up and go. Patience is key in this corner. Don't rush the throttle. Don't force the exit. The next corner is even more important, so float it wide and give yourself the best possible setup. Push the track limits to the max here. As soon as that first white line appears, that's your braking cue. From the cockpit, wait until the line is right in your field of view. Not too close, but definitely visible. That's the sweet spot. The brake here should be reactive, a touch aggressive, but not fully on the edge. Think back to the third to last corner. This is a big trail braking zone. Use every inch of space, get back on throttle just before the apex, and guide the car into rotation and alignment. The apex is marked by a thick white line. That's your target. On the way out, let the car drift wide. Get it out onto the green, at least with half the car. And that's it. You're across the line. Log that hot lap. Hope you enjoyed the guide. Let us know what you think of Fuji. Got good memories racing here? Is it one of your favorite tracks? Maybe in a different car? We'll catch you in the next one. See you soon, top drivers.